Today we are going to discuss about sexual reproduction in plants. The sexual reproductive parts of the flowering plants are located in the flower. As you have studied in your earlier classes about the parts of the flower, here this is a structure of the flower. The main parts of the flower are sepals, petals, stamens and carpels. The sepals and petals are the vegetative parts, stamens and carpels are the sexual reproductive parts. The stamens, these are the male portions, which is also called as androecium, and the carpels or the female portions, these are also called as gynoecium. So, some flowers having either stamens or carpels, those flowers are called as unisexual flowers like bottle gourd and papaya. Some flowers having both the stamens and the carpels, those flowers are called as bisexual flowers like datura. So, already you have know about the pollination. In some plants, the male reproductive cells of the stamens are fertilized with the female sex cells of the carpels of the same flower. This is called as self-pollination, like pea plants. In some plants, the male reproductive cells of the flower fertilize the female reproductive cells of the another flower which is present on same plant or the different plant of same group. That is called as cross pollination. The scientist Darwin showed that in 1876, when plants isolated had the greatest tendency to self-fertilize, while they are surrounded by the varieties of the same group, same species, or readily cross-fertilize. So, we have know how the birds and insects help the plants as the agents of the pollination. So, let us now discuss about the smaller parts involved in the sexual reproduction in plants. Here, the male portions or the stamens or androecium contains a long filament. At the head of the filament there is a pollen sac or anther. This anther or pollen sac bears some ball-like structures. Those ball-like structures are pollen grains. We can easily observe these pollen grains under microscope or with the hand lens. For this, you just take a slide, put some water drops on it and take one flower like hibiscus, triadax or marigold, and you take that flower, you tap the anther, you tap the pollen sac of the flower over the drops of the water. So, you will see some dot like structures, these are the pollen grains. So, every pollen grain consists two cells. One of the two cells is a tube cell. The tube cell consists two nuclei. So, when pollen grain germinates, then the pollen grain forms a pollen tube. Next, the female portions, carpels or gynoecium. Here the carpels contains three main parts: stigma, style and ovary. The stigma secretes a sticky nutritive fluid, contains food and other substances. It helps the pollen grain to germinate. So, the stigma receives the pollen grains. And the style is a passage of compatible male sex cells. And the ovary, here the ovary is very important part where the fusion of male and female sex cells takes place. Here in ovary there is a egg-shaped ovules, there is a egg-shaped ovule attaches by a sac to the inside of the ovary. Depending upon the species, ovary contains 1, 2 or several or even hundreds of ovules. At the center of the ovule there is a microscopic embryo sac filled with food and water. This embryo sac contains gametophyte cells. Majority of the flowering plants have embryo sacs with 7 cells and 8 nuclei. Here this is a embryo sac or female gametophyte. This embryo sac contains 7 cells and 8 nuclei. The 7 cells are 3 cells are antipodal cells, 2 are synergids, 1 egg cell and 1 large central cell. And here this central cell contains 2 nuclei. So 7 cells and 8 nuclei. In these 7 cells, here for our discussion, the 2 cells are very important. Those are 1 large central cell located at the center of the embryo sac and other is egg cell located at the end of the embryo sac closest to the opening through which the pollen tube enters. Now we will discuss about the fertilization. When pollen grains falls on the stigma secretes a sticky nutritive fluid contains food and other substances. This fluid makes the pollen grain to germinate. So the pollen grain forms a pollen tube and the pollen tube contains 2 nuclei. And soon after, the tip of the pollen tube enters into embryo sac and end of the pollen tube ruptures, 2 sperms are released into the embryo sac. 1 sperm fuse with the egg cell and form a zygote. At the time the fertilization of the egg cell has been fertilized, here the 2 polar nuclei combines to form a single fusion nucleus and the other sperm of the pollen grain deposited into the embryo sac by the pollen tube moves to the center and unites with a single fusion nucleus. So the zygote develops into an embryonic plant within the ovule and the fertilization of the fusion nucleus stimulates the formation of the endosperm in which the food materials are stored as the development of the ovule proceeds. So here the unites of 1 sperm with egg cell and the second sperm with fusion nucleus is called as double fertilization. As far as we know, the double fertilization takes place only in flowering plants. After double fertilization, the ovule increase in size as a result of the formation of the endosperm by mitosis and the developing of the new embryo. This embryo contains 1 or more cotyledons and epicotyle and hypocotyle. Here these epicotyle and hypocotyle are the parts of a rod-like axis attached to the cotyledons. The cotyledons digest and absorb the endosperm and make stored food material for the development of the epicotyle and hypocotyle. In some plants, beans for example, the cotyledons digest, absorb and store the food materials from the endosperm. From the endosperm as a ovule maturing into seed. As consequences, the cotyledons become enlarged because of the stored food, and the endosperm disappears much and less completely. In some other plants like corn and castor beans, the endosperm continues to grow as the ovule matures into seed. So after fertilization, the zygotes divide several times to form an embryo, and generally the zygote divides several times to form an embryo, and ovule develops a tough coat. Generally the ovule converts into seed, and the ovary grows rapidly and ripens to a fruit. Meanwhile, the other floral parts of the flower may shrivel and fall off. So after fertilization, the seed contains embryo or future plant develops into seedling in appropriate conditions. This is called as seed germination. So the seed contains plumule and radicule. The stem of the future plant develops from the plumule, and the roots of the new plant develops from the radicule. So after fertilization, the ovary converts into fruit, ovules converts into seeds, and meanwhile the other floral parts may shrivel and fall off. So every seed gives a new plant. So this is about the sexual reproduction in flowers, sexual reproduction in plants. Thank you.